Hey, what is up everyone? Danny and Alex. In this video, we're going to talk about the arm triangle. We talked about the arm triangle, how to set it up using the Americana. Very basic attack, right? But today we're going to show you guys how to counter when the person wants to defend that arm triangle. So check it out. So we start here in the mount position. What we're going to do is set it up where we left off in the previous video, where I showed you guys we set everything up using the Americana. All right, so there's many ways of setting up an arm triangle, but this is a very basic one. So since we did a video last week on this, now we're going to set it up using this. Every time we go here, now the person is going to reach with his opposite hand to try to defend, right, like this. So what we're going to do now is put our weight with our chest onto that arm. So look, see how I'm putting all of my weight onto his elbow? Now he can't retreat his arm. I'm going to let go around and trap his wrist. Once I have the wrist, I can let go of the Americana. I don't need this anymore. Now I'm going to go to this elbow, all right? So I'm holding like a gift wrap position here with all of my weight. So he's going to try to remove this arm, but it's impossible to do so. I'm going to use this arm, swim it underneath, and watch this, right into that arm triangle position. Now what you want to do is ensure to go palm to palm right here. So now you're nice and tight, and you want to connect without headbutting your partner. You want to connect your head nice and tight against his head. So that way there's no space for him to remove the arm, okay? Now that I'm palm to palm, I keep my elbows tight, and sometimes if I feel that the person is very spazzy, I might post my elbow out just for balance here. The time that it takes me to disengage my mount position and get to the side here. As I'm here now, I'm gonna sink in my hips and my elbow at the same time, but before I do so, is I'm gonna catch my arm, hold his neck, and now from here, I'll start to sprawl into the arm triangle position, okay? So this is a basic arm triangle fashion. What you want to do now, if you have a hard time sinking it in, is start to move your hips or your feet on an angle, right? Create like a tripod. So you move sideways to create more tension. And sometimes I showed you guys to also sit out. Now, if you're here, what I mean by this is if you're tight against his hip here and you're as such, you might have a hard time finishing here. So all you need to do is start to walk, see you're sinking it in a little bit tighter. And now if this is not enough, you post on your bent leg and you sit out as such. Makes it even tighter, okay? Now, we said we were gonna talk about countering. So countering his defense. So a lot of times what's gonna happen when you're in the arm triangle position, he knows that you need the arm in for the arm triangle. So he's gonna elevate his near side leg and he's gonna S grip underneath to defend. And what this does is it keeps his arm down. So I only have one side of his neck with my arm choking him, but nothing on this side. All right, so this is a common defense. I don't like this defense simply because I know the counter to it. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys how I like to counter when they defend like this. Okay, so I'm going for the arm triangle position here, and he brings his knee up, okay? Now from here, I'm trying to finalize, but look, I can't even reach because he's pushing with his arm against my head. So now there's a lot of space here and I can't close the arm triangle. All right, so I'm gonna stay palm to palm from here. What I'm going to do now is just shift. So when I'm here, instead of sprawling my legs, I'm gonna stay on my knees so I can move. And as he's countering here, look, I'm just gonna shift. I'm gonna come down and bring this hand in front. There's gonna be a gap here. So I'm gonna go one from palm to palm and look, bring this right in front of his neck. Once my fingers go inside, I'm gonna start to go forward as such, see? So that breaks him from that defense. Sometimes they're very stiff, they're very strong, they can still hold a defense. That doesn't matter at this point. I'm gonna squeeze in here and look, boom, finalize this type of choke instead. All right, so all we're doing is almost like an Ezekiel choke. We're going here and then finalizing using this instead of this, okay? So one more time. As I'm working the arm triangle here, he's defending as such. All right, I'm having a hard time finalizing. So instead of fighting it, what I'm going to do is cup, move this one inside, hold my own arm, and look, just squeeze it in. Very, very effective counter against this type of defense, all right? You don't need much. Now I want to show you something else you can do. This is more for MMA. You won't be able to do this sometimes in Jiu-Jitsu rules unless you're doing the ADCC, for example. It's more of a neck crank position. Let's turn this way a little bit, Alex. So as he's working this type of defense, and I'm able to get to here, maybe this one is still not enough, right? He starts to turn just a little bit, and now I'm not able to get this hand deep enough. So what we're gonna do is switch. Look, I'm gonna start to move myself here, and look, I'm just going to go palm to palm. As I get to this position here, look, I'm gonna bring this behind and go palm to palm. I'm gonna bring this against his chest, and look, I'm gonna go to here. Now in this position, I'm gonna start to squeeze into a neck crank position, okay? Now, if you're not allowed to do neck cranks, of course, you get to this position to control his neck so he can't turn. And look, you're gonna loop, and what do you have? The Kimura trap at...
In my neck. I felt this.
All right, guys, show you guys something else that we can follow with is as I'm working the arm triangle and I want to counter his defense, I get to this position here. I can't quite get my hand across to finalize the choke we just worked on. All right, so I'm here and I can't get it because now he's a little bit more stiff, he's stronger, and he's pushing with his elbow. So we're going to do a switch. We're going to disengage. I'm going to go palm to palm once again. And look, I'm just going to bring my elbow onto his upper chest from this position here. And now look, as I get to there, I'm able to choke him in this fashion instead. Now what's nice about this is if I miss this and I don't have quite the good angle, I can easily switch to the Kimura trap. All right, and now from here I can go back to north-south, switch and pass into an armbar position as one example. All right, so let's take a look one more time. So from the arm triangle position, I can't get the first one here. I can't get the second one as well. Second one usually works, but sometimes, you know, you get someone who's very strong, very strong. So what you're gonna do, look, you're gonna disengage, go back to your palm to palm position, stay tight. And now you bring him to you from here. Stay tight, and look, you're gonna start to choke him by extending the back arm from here, see? This type of choke. Now, if this doesn't work, switch to the wrist and your own wrist, and you have a nice tight Kimura trap where you can switch to a north-south position from here and attack a Kimura, or just fall back into an armbar as an example. All right, so we talked about how to set it up like this, right? So you put all of your weight, you switch, and now you want to go behind him as such into the arm triangle position. Other times you just grapevine. This is another trick. Look, I'm going to lower my base, sprawl very heavy, and use 2 grapevines here. Makes it very heavy. So now with this pressure here, he's gonna wanna bring his elbows in to try to, you know, move some weight and try to maybe even remove all of the pressure. So now you're gonna use this and tuck him in. And now you fall right into that arm triangle position where you can remove the hooks and now set it up, okay? Now from this position, we're gonna set it up where we're working for a traditional arm triangle. As I got to here now, I go here, but now he's gonna defend with the telephone lock. So a lot of times people, how do you defend a telephone lock from here? So look, a very easy counter we can do is just stay into our position here, connect my knee to his hip, and look, I'm gonna grab this, lower myself, and arm wrench from here. That locks his shoulder into place. Watch again. From this position, telephone lock, I'll lower myself here to jam his bicep, and look, I grab the top of his wrist, and this is a manivela, just like an Americano. Another option we can do from here, sometimes the hand is like this. Look, I'm gonna turn his wrist against the mat, and I'm gonna elevate against his tricep. But look at this wrist lock right here, see? Lots of pressure. Once again, look, I push his arm in, I turn his fingers against the mat, and I pressure top, and that creates a lot of tension for a wrist lock, all right? So these are easy counters. Thank you, Alex. These are easy counters, guys. You can use, there's many more, but basic ones to start you guys out with if someone starts to defend the arm triangle. A lot of times they're gonna use this type of defense. Other times they're gonna bring their knee up and go S grip to try to defend, right? So you guys, you study these, you'll be able to counter them. All right, guys, so there you have it. Some easy counters against the arm triangle defense. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Leave us a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more content just like this one. We'll catch you
in the next video.
Take care.